Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast. This is an extra special episode because it is the first one that we have added a video element to. If you haven't heard and you only listen to us on Spotify or Apple, we are now on YouTube as well. You know that my podcast is all about having hyper conversational conversations with you about marketing, business, sharing tactical, actual, real business advice. I love it to feel like sipping coffee with a biz bestie. And so now you literally can. You can put me on your TV, on your iPad, whatever it might be. We can feel like we're FaceTiming and actually having these real conversations face to face. I just feel like it adds another level of personalization to it. We can sit and have actual conversations. Now, it's not going to be perfect. You guys know me. I'm in my bus. My bus can be a mess sometimes. You see the cords in the background from my solar panels hanging up. We are not here for perfection. We are here for a conversation. I might not always have makeup on. I might not look my best, whatever it might be. However, we are having these real conversations. I'm so excited to add this element. So nothing's changing on the audio side. We are just adding a video element if you so care to add it there. I can't wait to have these conversations with you. If you're new here and you're just finding this right now, welcome. I'd like to take a second to just say hello and that I'm so happy you're here. I'm your host, Madison Page, and I am a business growth specialist. I like to say I'm helping you learn how to stand out and sell out on social media by building a ride or die online community around your brand. So we really talk about community building for longevity of your business. And we're all about building this obsession around your business and your life and becoming your own business icon. We learn in a really fun conversational type of way around here. There is nothing like those interrogations like it seems like you see everywhere else. This is what we're focusing on, is having these really genuine conversations. I like to say it's kind of like sipping coffee with a biz bestie. We put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Spotify, Apple, YouTube now, and anywhere that you listen to other podcasts. You can find us here. Today we're talking about the Freepreneur Lifestyle. If you are new to my community, this might be a new term for you. This is the term that I have coined as our main mission for everybody that we work with very closely. What we're talking about is how to have this balanced way of life, what that really looks like, and how we can really dive into having a fulfilling personal and professional way of life, chasing those huge audacious goals that we have, but also not letting our business run us. We are still running our business. So we're going to talk about the definition, and if you are like, I have no idea where to start with this, we're going to talk about where to start and how to dive on in with some different practices. So stay tuned and let's dive into this conversation. I want to talk about the definition of the Freepreneur Lifestyle. You might have heard me talk about this a little bit. You might not have. You might be new. You might be very well versed to this idea. But really what I want to say is this is about living life to the fullest. I know, so cliche, but really what we're doing is we're chasing every dream that we have on our heart. We are, whether it's personal or professional. It's not delusional to have these really audacious goals. It is being driven. It's being high achieving. It's having somebody that you're not going to settle for not the absolute best in life. We want that absolute best in life. And so we're having a life of passion and balance and really trying to achieve everything that we have on our heart, on our brain, whatever it may be. We're chasing those big goals. So I like to say that there's a difference between personal and professional of your freepreneur life. So I have kind of the more direct definition that I have, in my own kind of business foundations that I really live by. And if you know my story at all, we'll get into that on the episode on Friday as well, is going to be all about my kind of the origin story of this. But today we're really just talking about the definition and how to start for you. First things first, let's talk about the professional side. Being a freepreneur, kind of living this freepreneur lifestyle, is this balanced way of life that, yes, we have these big audacious business goals, but we also want to live this really full and passion-driven life through business and not. So on the professional side is we're being structured and disciplined on the days that you can be. So the days that you don't want to be, you don't have to be. The days that you want to have fun, that you want to go to brunch with your girls at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday because you own your own business and you can go and do that. And so we want to be structured and strategic in all of our actions, have intention behind our actions. So on the days that you want to take a step away and you want to have balance, we can. It's infusing sustainable business practices into your everyday content, into your everyday business objectives, so you can really allow for your business to work for you when you're not working, as well as utilizing technology to do so. Increasingly with AI and automation, there is so much that we can infuse on the professional side that allows you to have a business that's still working for you. The other day, I was out on a charter fishing boat with my family in Myrtle Beach, and I came back and I had, I think it was like $1,600 in sales that day while I was out on that boat. Why? Because I have structures and systems that are working for me in the background. I have content that's working for me when I'm not even working. Every day I have hundreds of people that find me and that are listening to me and consuming my content without me even having to post anything. This is really about building a community that will follow you anywhere in your business. As a passionate person, as a high achieving person, that is the loudest plane, if you can hear that I have ever heard in the background. Oh my gosh, I don't know what it is, but she's there. But it is all about building a community behind what you're doing in the background. So when we want to change, we are all the person that when you want to burn your business to the ground and it's actually the time for you to do so and completely revamp what you're doing, you can do that because you have a community that loves you and loves the message that you have behind your brand. It's about having, like, instead of pushing those big sales, we're actually pushing quick sales, pushing like futile, let's just like make a quick buck. Instead, we're talking about longevity. We're talking about how to really have a business forever and building that community that will follow you everywhere you want to go. And more importantly, it's about becoming your own business icon instead of aspiring to be all of these other people and it's good to look up to people, but we still want to look up to our ideal icon business self. And so it's becoming your own business icon as opposed to just constantly aspiring to be. I think it's great to aspire and have icons and have models, have good people out there that you love what they're doing, but it's also good to look inward and say, okay, what is my own business icon, and looking at that person. So from a professional standpoint, if we're gonna sum all that up, in case you missed it, sum all that up, that's too long to even comprehend. It's building a business with structure, automation, and strategy at the baseline so things work for you when you're not working. So you can be structured and disciplined on the days that you can be. So on the days that you don't want to be, or that you want to go do something else and have fun and do other things, spend time with your family or your friends or whoever it might be, you can, because you've been so structured on these other days and strategic that you know things are still working even when you step away. From the personal side, it's infusing fun and play and hobbies and family and friends and just things that you enjoy into your day-to-day life and cutting things out that feel heavy. It's realizing that your own personal enjoyment really is, at the end of the day, to be successful is living a full life. It's living the life that you really have out there that doesn't feel draining. We're living a life that feels full and fun, and it's surrounding yourself with peers that lift you up and not tear you down. It's understanding that people that mind don't matter and people that matter don't mind. I live by that. And as well as understanding that you can allow yourself to take time away. Honestly, sometimes it's in those days of rest, it's in those periods of rest, when I take a weekend off, take a week off, go on vacation, take a trip in my bus, go and do the thing, that I actually find the most fun ideas. Last night, I was not looking forward to doing my drive to where I am right now, and I said, what could I do to make this more fun and make this feel more fulfilling? And this might not sound fun to you, but on my 4-hour drive, I was like, okay, what's something that I have been wanting to learn that I haven't been able to do? And it was all about systems in my business, that I really wanted to advance my systems and really start infusing some more structure in the behind the scenes in different areas. So I was like, all right, I'm going to learn everything I can in the next 3 to 4 hours on this. And I found podcasts, I found different YouTubes, and I put it on while, I guess I wasn't watching the video while I was driving. I was listening to the audio, and I allowed myself to really dive into that, and that made it feel more fun for me. And so it's building this balance-filled life that adds fun, and maybe fun isn't always the professional side, maybe it's the personal side more often, but it allows you to build this life of balance. That's really what it comes down to. This freepreneur life is living a life with a freedom-based structure to it. That it doesn't feel like you are being run by your business, instead you are running your business. It's a way to build your business from the very start if you haven't built a business yet, or if you have and you're like, Maddie, I need to backpedal here because my business absolutely is running my life and I'm drowning in all of my to-dos, then it's from today on, the new things that we are adding into it, that you are infusing these sustainable business practices into it so you can enjoy life again. I have been in your shoes. We're going to talk about my origin story next week. However, I've been in your shoes. I ran a business and I was working 16-hour days. I couldn't barely leave the property. I was living on the property, literally in a tent, living on the property. I was running the business, and I was truly working 80 plus hours a week. Every single week for like 14 weeks in a row. I was so drained by the end of you know me, I'm an extrovert. I'm here, I give you the energy that I give, but by August, I was like literally drowning. I was like, put me in a hobbit hole for a month and I don't need to talk to a single other person, and I would be totally fine with that. And that's not the way that I wanted to live. I didn't want to live where I felt depleted and drained and didn't want to be my energetic self like this, because I was so drained. My social battery was in the toilet because I just wasn't fulfilled. I didn't have this balance. So when I started this business, at the very start of my business, I said, I will build this where I can have balance and I can live outside of just this, like, oh, this wretched, like dark, like drowning way of life around a business. And I hear people say it all the time, and I think it's so toxic, is like, oh, well, you know, as a business owner, like it's, you know, it's just the way life is. It doesn't have to be like that. People told me that, and I believed it for a long time. I was like, yep, you do. And don't get me wrong, there's times that you have to hustle. There's times that you have to be out there. There's times that you do, like there are times in my business that I'm working long days, but there's also a lot of days that I work an hour or two. That allows me to live out of my bus, and I can go whitewater rafting if I want to on a Wednesday, because I know my business is still working for me. And the most important part about that is guilt-free. It doesn't have to be something that is like, while you're doing it, if you're feeling guilty while you're taking this rest, it's not actual rest. It's not actual fun. That is what we're going for, is that you can go out there and guilt-free realize that your business is still working for you. This idea of a freepreneur lifestyle is infused in everything that we teach in our live programs, in our courses, on my podcast, in a YouTube channel, whatever it might be. We are fully talking about how to build this overall freepreneur life, and it's constantly evolving and building because we all are evolving and building alongside of it. And this is infused in everything that we teach. So if you do want to learn deeper around that, that is where our live programs, our courses stay. Subscribe to the video, the channel, whatever it might be on podcast or YouTube. I gotta get used to talking about so many platforms in one single conversation. But subscribe to the podcast. This is what we really do talk about all of the time. So this really is building this business for longevity. It's building your business that isn't just, okay, what I'm going to do today is going to make me $50 or $500, and then tomorrow I'm going to have to start over and try to push for sales again. Instead, this is looking at everything as an actual brand. That's looking at it as a side hustle of how I can make just a quick buck and a quick income. We are looking to this as actually building it as a structure. It's not chasing trends, it's chasing the business that we ideally have someday. It's chasing your biggest fun goals that you have out there. It's about thinking of your business as more of a brand than a side hustle. You've heard me talk about this a lot on the podcast, is the small business versus brand mentality. I know this is the Small Business Growth Podcast, but I want you to grow outside of small business into brand. A brand, if you haven't heard that, we'll talk about it, but you can go back onto the podcast it was a while ago, but it's small business versus brand. I will do another one because you guys really did like that and it really resonated with you, but really what that difference is between small business versus brand. Small businesses play small. Brands think of their business as a business, have structure, have intention, and have a lot going on behind the scenes that it isn't a side hustle. This is what you want to do full time. It's thinking of your business as a business, and it's taking those actions. I want you to look at this in your business today. Where are you thinking small in your business and thinking, someday I'll do that. Someday I will try to build this out there. Instead, are you letting your business run you, or are you actually running your business, is really the major question that I want you to ask yourself. How are you running your business right now for longevity? What are we doing and infusing into everything that you are kind of putting out there that allows for your business to last and to function and to actually have some structure behind it? And I hear this a lot with my clients as they say, like, Maddie, I don't plan anything. I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I'm literally just trying to get by. That means you are just working in your business. You're not actually working on your business for growth. And so that is what we're starting to do today. What does that even mean, and how are we doing that? So if you're sitting here, again, I've been where you're at. I've been where you're at running a business that's running me. And so I want to look at this instead is, how can we start doing something else? How can we really make a change with what we're doing today to start infusing this balance, this freedom-based lifestyle? Because trust me, from being where you are to being where I am today, girlfriend, it is worth it, because I literally sit in gratitude with my cozy little cup of coffee in the morning all of the time, and I just can't believe that this is the life that I've built because I've been on the other side, where I can choose my schedule. Someone wants to go to coffee in the morning, let's go to coffee. Because I've been so structured on these other days, I grind on sometimes. I have big push times in my business, and I infuse times that aren't as big of a push. These next couple of months are a big push in my business. I love the fall and the winter. I don't know why. I'm kind of like, I go into almost like a hibernation standpoint of my business. It's not hibernation. It's almost like I go into my little hobbit hole. Like, hibernation means to me that I'm taking a step back. I am pushing into my business when it goes like into the fall and the winter, because I love to really be outside in the summer and have a little bit more flex to it. And a lot of the things I love to do are in the summer and the warm months. And so I love to be able to do that. Now, I still enjoy my time in the fall and the winter, but it is a little bit more of a hustle period for me. But come spring and summer, I kind of like, I get to bloom and I get to go outside and I get to watch these things work. I look at the numbers a little bit more, and kind of just let it happen in the background. So coming from somebody, just kind of a tangent, a little bit of a rant. It's just like me unloading everything in my brain of what I like to teach and what I live by and what I teach all of my clients, onto you. And that is really what I'm trying to do here, is tell you that there is a better way. There is a different way out there, that you don't have to be so rigid in everything that you're doing. Your business doesn't have to run you. You get to run your business, and you really get to see that all of your goals, whether you want to retire your husband or whether you want to spend more time at home with your kids, whatever that might be, you can do that. It is allowed. There's a possibility out there for you. You just have to infuse it in the practices that you have now in order to make that happen. So that is what we're all about here today. Now we're going to dive into, how can you start? This sounds great, Maddie. I understand that. This sounds awesome. Would love to do it. How do I start doing? We have now kind of dove in to the idea of what this is. We've established that it's possible. We know that it's out there. We know that we can do it. What does this really mean for us as a whole? What does this really mean, and how do we start? Really, the major thought that I want you to think of in your business is, how can I become my own business icon? Now, I know this sounds kind of cheesy, and I'm all about cheesy. I kind of am, like, I've always been this way with, like, you know, I can go back in the quotes on my Pinterest board, and they are just the most cheeseball thing since I was like 12 years old. So bear with me here if this is a little cheesy, but we are always aspiring to be like these people. We follow influencers, we follow other business owners that we follow, and we're like, oh my gosh, if I could just do that, if I could just be them, if I could just have that business, that would be awesome. I would love that. But instead of looking at how can we do what all of these other people are doing, I want you to look at, what does your own business icon really look like? Take bits and pieces of these people. It's good to look up to people, but we also have to look up to our ideal business self. And so this is how we're going to start today, building your freepreneur lifestyle. I remember doing this, being like, okay, what business do I ideally actually want to have? Because I have to build that from the start. It can't be something that I am just, it can't be something that I am just trying to build day to day. I have to have a visual in my head of what this looks like. I have to know, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the life that I'm trying to build. What does this business icon of yourself look like? And that is really where you start to build this. Because right now in your business, and this is what I ask a lot of my business owners, literally from the beginning, and no matter where you're working with me, if we're now growing, if we're expanding, or if we're scaling. Those are 3 phases of business: growing, expanding, scaling. And no matter where you're at, if you're trying to get to consistent sales, if you're trying to expand your consistent sales, or if you're really trying to scale into this big business, I ask you, what is your definition of freedom and what does your dream business look like? Because we have to infuse certain things right now into your business in order, and it's different for everybody. Some people might not want to live the life that I live. A lot of people don't want to live the life that I live, where I'm literally living out of a bus and like, I don't have a bathroom in here, I don't have a shower in here. It is not exactly the easiest way of life, but I love it and it's for me. So what does that look like for you? This is something that I've dreamt about doing since I was 15, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it because I love watching all these people that are doing it, and I'm always so jealous of them, and I'm like, oh, that just sounds so great. And now people, like, it's like, this is incredible. I literally wake up all the time and I'm like, I can't believe that I'm actually living out this dream that I've been dreaming of for so long. So I want you to kind of take this moment. I'm going to ask you some guided questions. If you've not been a part of my world for a while, I use a lot of guided questions in what we talk about because I want you to I want this to feel like a conversation. I want this to feel like a conversation between the two of us. I almost want it to feel kind of like a guided practice of what are we doing? How are you actually doing this? So I want you to sit and think, like, what does my ideal business owner self look like? If I could like, wave a magic wand, I have the business that I want, what does that look like? And I don't just want you to say that I'm making $10,000 a month. I want you to get a little bit dreamier than that, get a little sexier than that, get a little bit more delicious with what we're dreaming about. Do you want your kids at home with you? Do you want to have a team? Do you not? Do you want your business to be online? Do you want to have a storefront? Like, down the line, what do you want your business to be? What do you want that to look like? What does your ideal business owner self look like? It doesn't just have to be your business. What do you as the person running your business look like? What does this feel like? What life do they live? Like, what does that really look like? Or do you work a full schedule? Like, to me, my ideal self is not working 2 hours a week. I love working. I love what I do. And some people are like, I just want to work as little as possible and make the most amount of money. That's fine. That is not my prerogative. I love what I do and I would literally do it for free. So I want to just enjoy the things that I'm doing more. So what does your ideal business owner self really look like? What life does she live? What do her routines look like? Don't wait until you make X amount of dollars to start living the routine that your ideal self, your ideal business owner, your ideal business icon would live. When you watch these morning routines and you're like, oh, I just wish I could do that. Why are you not? Don't let it wait. And you can call this self-love. You can call this whatever. Don't wait. Idolize yourself. Idolize the self that you are building right now. What do her routines look like? Live as her now. What does she do every single day in her business? What are the things that are non-negotiables every day in her business, personal and professional life? Is it a slow morning? Is it a structured morning? I used to be the most structured person ever. Wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, journal, do the thing, plan my day, work out for an hour, come back, shower, get ready, eat the same meal, and start working by 9 a.m. And it would be 6 o'clock at night, and I'd be like, okay, cool, let's do the thing. I had so much on my list. Bang, 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 bang. Did the whole structure thing. End of the day, this was my evening routine. I was so structured. Now I love a slow morning. My ideal business icon self wakes up slow, makes a cup of coffee, hangs out with my boyfriend in the morning, and enjoys my day. And kind of goes on, and then I start my structure. I like to say I start working by 10 a.m. Some days I work by 8:30, some days I work by 10:30, 11 o'clock, depending on the day. But I have a routine in the morning, but I don't like a super structured day. That is what she does every day. Is she has a slow morning, she gets grounded, she gets that intention there, and then she builds from there. What does this person, looking at your business icon, what does her schedule look like? How does she dress? What hobbies does she have? I really want you to think not only from the professional side of what she looks like, what does her life look like outside of business? Because there is a life outside of business. What does that look? What does she do with her kids? What does she do with her friends? Does she have a Tuesday at 11 a.m. coffee date with her best friend every single week? How does she do that? What does she look like? How does she present herself? And I really want you to sit with this idea of how can you become your own business icon? What does, even just the idea of what does your own self business icon look like? Act like? What does that really look like to you? I think not enough business owners actually look at what does their ideal business look like? What does their ideal business self look like? How do you present yourself? How do you treat people? How does your customer service look like? Like, really, what do you as a value-based business owner really want to show up and look like? And now that you have this idea of who this person is, and whether you want to go through and take a piece of paper and do the notebook thing with this, you totally can. Map it out. Do the thing. And now I want you to think of how can you start embodying this business icon self today? Instead of waiting until you make $10,000 a month in your business, or until you start doing your business full time, or until your kids are grown, or whatever that might be, start becoming this person today. Day by day, even 1% more like this business icon self. How can you show up as this person? Incrementally even. Instead of waiting for the day that you can, I hear that all the time, I can't wait for the day that I can do this. I can't wait for the day that can be my life. Now, of course, there's things that get in the way. You have bills, you might have a full-time job, you have kids that might get in the way of what this ideally would look like. But how can we infuse those things into your schedule? Incrementally, start doing things. Maybe it means you wake up an hour early, or maybe it means you ask your boss if you can go part-time in your business, or in your full-time job, so you can start building your business more. Maybe it means that you get a nanny for 2 days a week. I have a lot of clients that have done that. They're like, Maddie, I got a nanny and it just really allowed me to step into my professional side more. Maybe it means that you take Friday off of your business so you can spend it with your family and your kids. Whatever that might be, start taking action on this freepreneur life today. What actions are they taking? What actions would they want you to take now? And this is something that really clicked in me when I started my businesses. I laid this out. Like I said, I wanted to infuse this freepreneur kind of lifestyle from the very start of my business. I said, what do I want my business to look like? Ideally, because I was sick of running a business that was not balanced, because it was not who I wanted to be. I wasn't my best self anymore. What did I really want to show up as the business owner? And I mapped all of this out. What do I want my business to look like? What would I want my schedule to look like? What do I want my life to look like ideally? And I started to build that out. I started to map a business from the foundation of this, and I started to take action as if I already had that. And honestly, people always use the be delusional. This isn't delusion. This isn't delusion. It's having goals and taking actions and according to those goals. If you need to think of it as being delusional, if you need to think of it as confidence, no matter what it is, show up as this business owner icon. That you are your own business owner icon. You're not looking towards all of these other people, the owner of Tarte, or the owner of, I love Emma Grede. I think she's wonderful, but I don't idolize her. I idolize the business owner that I want to become. And you can take bits and pieces from what these people do, but I want you to think of yourself. What does this look like for you? Because I don't want to live the life that those people live. They live a very lavish life. I am not somebody that needs a lavish life. I love my luxury things. I live in a bus, but I have an espresso. I got some Brooklyn sheets. I have the things that I like to have. I have the luxuries that I like to have, but it doesn't need to be everything. I don't need designer bags. I don't need these really big lavish things. Do I like nice things? Yes. So what does my business owner icon look like to me? I'm not aspiring to be this person. I'm not aspiring to be that person. I don't want their brand. I don't want their life. I want the life I want to live. I want the life that feels good to me and that I can't wait to live. And that is what the Freepreneur definition is building that life. Realizing that there is nothing out there that I can't accomplish with hard work, dedication, and the proper knowledge. And that is really what it comes down to, is you can make anything happen in your life. People come to me, my clients come to me, and they're like, Maddie, I just wish I could do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, let's make it happen. I just wish this could be the case. Let's do it. Why isn't that happening for you yet? Why are we not building that? And then it's like, well, I don't want to show my face on social media, but I want to be like more of that influencer. I really want this business, but my parents just don't support it. And sometimes we have to push through. When you find yourself saying, I want this, but you got to cut that out. What actions do I have to take in order to make that be the case? And this is the delusion. If you're not watching, I put a lot of quotes behind that. This is the delusion that I like to say that I have always lived by, is there is nothing out there that I cannot accomplish if I just have hard work, dedication, and learn the proper knowledge that I have to behind it. And that is really what it comes down to, is there is nothing in your life that you cannot build truly. Period. Honestly, there is nothing in your life that you cannot build if you just put your mind to it. And that is what the Freepreneur lifestyle is. Live the life that you cannot wait to live, with balance, with rest, with fun, with passion, with financial freedom, whatever that might be, whatever your goals are, whatever your definition of freedom is, it is possible for you. How do you start this today is by identifying what that freedom-based lifestyle looks like in detail. Write it down. Put it on a whiteboard, make a Pinterest board of like an aspirational, dreamy life. If you're visual, if you like to talk about it, talk to somebody about it, like whatever that might be, put it down there and start writing it down. It is so worth it. When you actually make the vision, you really can't work towards something if you don't know what you're working towards, if you don't have that vision that you're working towards. So the Freepreneur definition and how to get started today is realize what it is that you're working towards, and then we can reverse engineer it with strategy and with structure in the back end to make that happen. That is everything that you're doing, and it is a constant building to where you want to be. But I'll tell you right now, 1 year ago, Maddie, 2 years ago, Maddie, is so proud of where I am now, because I constantly build this freedom-based lifestyle, and it's the life that I have been dying to live. And 5 years from now, Maddie, 10 years from now, Maddie is going to be so proud of the Maddie that she is today, because she took this action. My gosh, when I look back at myself in college, 2019, Maddie, literally like in her little attic, I had this like little weird attic that I was living in, building this business, which is almost like 4 years ago to this day that I was doing this, that I was really building the business I have today, that I was mapping all of this out. I get so emotional thinking about it because I'm so proud of her. She was aspiring to be me, who I am now, and who I will be in 5 and 10 years. And there's always growth to be had, but I am grateful for her. I cannot believe that she had the grit and the dedication that she had in order to get me to where I am today, from 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Keep your eye on the vision, keep developing that vision, and keep taking strategic action to get there. Now, this isn't just be delusional and it'll happen. This isn't about manifesting. This is about finding the vision, taking the actions, the strategy, and learning the proper knowledge in order to get you there. That is what the Freepreneur lifestyle is all about. Taking strategy, structure, and discipline in the areas where it makes sense, learning the things that you really need to learn in order to get there, and hiring the people that you need to hire in order to get there, and doing the specialist thing, whatever. If you hate website design and you know you're terrible at it, realizing that it might be beneficial for you to take it off of your plate. Taking action today as if you are your own business idol. I want you to become your own business icon. Don't be aspiring to be all of these other people. Find your own vision and take action in order to get there. That is what it's all about around here. So whether you are new here on YouTube or you've listened for a while on the podcast, you're finding us for the first time, this is the basis of everything that we talk about. is this freepreneur lifestyle. It's everything that we build is have this balance. If you're not here for balance, if you are grit and hard work and I'm working 40 hours plus, I'm working 60 hours a week, I'm gonna do the dang thing. I'm all about that, but with balance. If you're not about balance, this place isn't for you. This is what we're all about here. So I am so glad that you're here. Make sure that you follow along to kind of stay up to date with everything that we're doing. Follow, subscribe. I love you. I'm in your corner and I'm here for you always.